on, you son of a gun.
Now, it's been a month since I made those listings on Etsy, and I'm here to report that we made exactly $0.
So that didn't go as planned, but I do know where I went wrong. You see, I was trying to sell items that already existed, trying to stand out from the sea of competitors offering the same thing. Turns out, not very easy. New plan. I'm going to sell something that doesn't exist anywhere else at an extremely high price. And I'm going to try to sell this product at a local auction, where if I can get multiple bidders bidding on this item, I can really drive up the price and make more of that sweet, sweet moolah. That way, I only need to sell one item to be able to pay rent. Now the only question is, what am I going to make? Recently, I've been making a lot of wooden weapon replica art thingies, and I think that something like that could fetch a fairly nice price if sold to the right person. I just needed to decide what that wooden weapon work of art would be. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, that's it. I'll make a wooden Thor Hammer.
Sculpture of Chris Hemsworth.
What? So I began diligently drawing, designing, and another word that starts with a D to come up with the ultimate Thor's hammer. You'll notice it looks nothing like the one seen in the movies, and that's because this one's closer to the older depictions of Mjolnir and not that metal brick piece of shit. Mine has a traditional arched head, a short stout handle, and a very pronounced pommel. A hammer that the god of thunder would proudly wield. Now we just need to build it.
Oh, that's the easy part.
Take a good look at this man's happy, dumb face. Because it's the last time you'll see it for a very, very long time. Building this hammer was a challenge, to say the least. I knew it was going to be made from solid walnut and maple, cut and glued into big boy planks, which I then used to carve the heads of the hammer with my CNC. And now begins the pain. Fucking sanding these little ass grooves inside the walnut head for what felt like goddamn days, only to spray on some black matte paint and then, you guessed it, sand it all away. I did this multiple times until I got a surface finish that I was happy with. I also glued up some of the hammerheads that I carved out of maple into a single piece. Now it's time for the handle. I might not be the greatest woodworker in the world, but this handle sucked. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but this handle had multiple awkward stop cuts and taper cuts on all sides at some random angles. Not only that, I decided for some fucking reason to divide the handle in 3 parts and separate them with pieces of brass metal. It ended up looking nice, but I must have re-glued this goddamn bitch handle 4 fudging times because it kept falling apart. And I'm going to be open and honest with you, random person who's watching this right now. I might have lost my cool at some points making this handle. But other times, I think I look like a pretty sweet woodworker. Damn it. Moving on from that, quickly, we need to make, as Bob Ross would say, some big boy moves. By gluing the hammerhead onto the handle. Now this is a very pivotal step, and I was a bit tense to say the least. Because in the past, I've had a project that I was working on for days completely shattered during this process. And I'm not gonna lie, I might have cried a little bit. Thankfully, this one went pretty well, and I wasn't at all surprised. Oh, please be careful with that. And now for the final piece, the pommel. No, that's the wrong pommel, you idiot. It's basically just a smaller hammerhead at the other end of the handle. Made exactly the same way as the hammerhead, so we'll just skip through all that. And after putting on some final touches, the hammer is complete. And there you have it. Oh, and I made this sweet, half clamshell, I guess, display case for the hammer. But enough of that, it's time to make some money. So it's been 2 weeks since I made that hammer. During that time, I got the hammer looked at, approved, and handed it over to a local auction house here in Denver. Now, it took a couple of weeks before they finally put it up for auction, but the day finally came, more specifically this morning. And I gotta say, I was blown away by all the different kinds of things that they sell at this auction house. From jewelry to furniture to even a fucking telescope. Wait a minute, what is that? Enhance. More. What kind of demon doll is that? Seriously, what is this? Who is this for? And why do I have a sudden urge to burn it? Eventually came time for people to bid on my hammer.
And I was nervous, to say the least. I spent $200 and over 50 hours making the hammer in the case, and I was hoping to get $500-$600 for it, but honestly over $200 and I would have been happy. So, let's see how it went. That was it. The final bid was $200, which was from an absentee bid, which just means it was placed by people ahead of time because they couldn't be there in person when the item was being sold. Or in other words, no one who was actually there wanted to buy my hammer. It's okay. I'll laugh through the pain. I learned after talking to a few folks that most people who were there wanted to just buy furniture on the cheap and resell it at a higher price. And I'm guessing most people saw that that hammer was going to be a very difficult thing to resell. Not the happiest of endings, but it's okay. I learned a lot in this project, both about woodworking and about auction houses. I was able to recoup back the material costs, at least most of it, after the auction house took a very large cut. And most importantly, I stole that little mannequin and I burned it in a dumpster.